Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The police have announced that the cost of Operation Branchform has just reached £1.3 million, and that's not surprising considering how long it's been going on for. It should have finished already, but it hasn't. And so the price that people are going to pay, the cost of this, will continue to rise. But what's deeply concerning, of course, is if they're going to use this rising and ever-increasing price as justification to pull the investigation, to basically let them get away with whatever they've got away with, simply because of the cost of the investigation. This must not and cannot be allowed to stand. This operation must be brought to a head, and whatever the price, these people brought to justice. Not only would it then allow that price to be justified, but also it would act as a warning to the others. And so we're going to take a look at this to see how much it's costing, why it's cost so much, and when, if ever, we can expect this investigation to come to any kind of close. Let's go. Right, before we get into it, may I ask that if you like my ever so short haircut, you hit the subscribe and like button. Absolutely massively helps the channel to subscribe, because we're political, we get pushed down. Your subscription lifts us up and we can push the news out further, regardless of how much hair I appear to have. Anyway, Operation Branchform costs soar to 1.3 million as officers continue the probe into the SNP finances. Police Scotland has a team of 20 staff working on the probe, which started in 2021. I mean, it's getting on into its third year now, and it absolutely needs to come to a close. They have information, they have evidence left, right and centre. Bring it and prosecute. The only problem is, of course, who are you bringing it to and who's going to do the prosecution? Because effectively you'll be bringing it to the SNP government and asking them to prosecute the SNP. It's a weird situation. Anyway, Police Scotland are carrying on this. They've spent that 1.3 million. They're looking for the 600,000. I think if they find it, they need to take all the money from the SNP to pay for the investigation. And if they have to sell their houses to pay for it, good, let them. Anyway, the cost of a police probe into the SNP finances has risen to the 1.3 million, as mentioned. Operation Branchform was set up to investigate allegations of fraud relating to 600,000 raised by SNP activists to fight a second independence referendum, and it is then gone missing. The paper reports a Freedom of Information request confirmed the figure. And it also reports that as of January the 20th, a team of 20 police staff were working on the probe. They include a detective chief inspector, a detective inspector, 3 detective sergeants, 10 detective constables and 5 civilian support staff. Now that's a lot of people working on this case. I mean, they've got evidence. They've said themselves they've got evidence of forgery, evidence of embezzlement, evidence of all sorts of shenanigans going on. Bring it to a head and prosecute. Anyway, one other detective sergeant spent time on the team during part of 2023, and Police Scotland estimates the salary cost of up to January the 31st this year to be 1.2 million, and a further 80 million had been spent on overtime pay, along with £929 on vehicle costs. It brings the total cost estimate to 1.302 million. It is unclear, and this is the part that's really annoying. It is unclear when Operation Branchform will conclude, and the police will present their findings to the Crown Office, which is a branch of government, who will decide if charges will be brought. The Crown Office, headed by Dorothy Bain, who sits as a minister in the SNP government, will be asked to see whether the SNP government needs to be charged and prosecuted. Isn't that weird? That you're going to have a government effectively charging itself, taking itself to court. Is that even allowable? Is that even a thing in law? And certainly when you're getting the judge who is appointed by the government, i.e. via the Crown Office and that. So the judge you're having the government needs to be taken to court, and the people prosecuting it are the government, and the court has appointed a judge who's assigned to that by the government. What do we think is going to happen here, children? It's weird, isn't it? And this is why these things need to be sorted out. This is why the Scottish justice system is in such a state. And we've gone through that in past videos, of course. Me and Roger have expounded upon the whole sort of ultra vires nature of actually having the Crown Prosecutor, or not the Crown Prosecutor, the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service as being a part of government. It's a very weird thing. Anyway, it's just rounding off and tell us who got what and arrested and things, but we know all that. So around there, I will come up and we'll just finish the video. But it's an immense amount of cost, and I'm deeply sceptical that this will ever get to court, because I have a horrible feeling that this investigation will be pulled simply as a matter of cost. It's gone on too long, cost too much money, we're not going to get any benefit from it, we'll stop the investigation. Because if you set that as a standard, it means going forward that can then be used, and no matter what crime, once you get to a certain lot, once a crime hits 1.3 million, what do you say? Well, it's already cost that more than that to investigate, you better pull it off now. Doesn't matter what the crime is. You can price your way out of jail. Who knows? Anyway, coming up. And of course, the other thing is, with all those police officers being tied up in this operation, that's officers that aren't being able to be used in other investigations. And so then you're stifling and hamstringing other investigations through a lack of staff. Surely now you've got enough evidence. You're not going to get any more. They're already talking about going back and re-questioning people. Okay, go back and re-question them. But then say, look, this is as much as we're going to get. Put it down, write it down, and bring it to court. And let the people hear the evidence, let the people know what's going on. And let the court discover whether these people need to go to prison, which I think we all agree they probably do. But let's get it into court now. And let's save any more expense on this investigation and free up those officers to go and do their day job elsewhere, sorting other people out and helping more crimes come to fruition. Oh, not the crimes coming to fruition, getting the cases to court, basically, being the fruition. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. It's a strange day today. I'm going to be flicking in and out, so there will be some videos from the studio, and some will be out and on the go. So just keep an eye out for them. But definitely hit the subscribe button. It really does help. And any comments on this or anything else, do put them in the comments, and that helps as well. So anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, keep an eye out on this, and let's hope they don't pull it. And I will speak to you later. Bye.